Hello there. In this video, we're going to cover maps. To my disappointment, all of the work that I did preparing for this course became completely irrelevant when Mapbox and Flutter decided to both update themselves and make all of my Ode code useless. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to be building all of this from scratch today. Luckily, I found a very friendly-looking guide, which I think will help us through the things that we mostly want to do to get maps going. So, a generous person by the name of Druvnakum, I hope I said that right, has a 12-minute read. It's going to take us a lot longer than 12 minutes, I can tell you. That is an introduction to Mapbox and getting maps to work on Flutter. So we're going to maybe we'll try to do all of this. We'll see how it goes. If I start getting frustrated, maybe I'll call it quits after I get the main stuff working. But importantly, I want to be able to actually have maps. So Mapbox, what is Mapbox? Mapbox is used to get maps and locations. It's pretty handy. There's some references of people who think that it's okay. Lots of different services. It's been updated like crazy. When I first was doing any kind of Flutter development for this course, Mapbox was like, oh, it seemed like it's kind of okay. And then just this massive update happened, and suddenly it has, services out the wazoo. So fortunately, that's really cool. Unfortunately, it means all my code is deprecated and doesn't work. So we're just gonna do this from scratch, I think. Let's see, there's a studio, that's cool, kind of like Photoshop for maps. You can change things, colors, 3D effects, camera angles, that's cool. Lots of cool things you can do with this. I would love to see some creative use of Mapbox in your projects. I might be looking for something like that for people who want a really high effort mark. Navigation, that's cool. Yeah, so we're not using Google Maps because Google's already been giving us trouble with like Firestore and such. So let's Mapbox it up. You must first register for a Mapbox account in order to use Mapbox. Go to sign in and do that. Well, unfortunately for me, I think I already have one, so that should save me a step along the way. And indeed, I do. So you may have to actually install something, but it looks like I already have an account, so that helps. Okay, after this, I'm redirected to the dashboard. I am indeed there. My access token, which is required for any application, is found under the access token sections. Okay, good to know. We will use Flutter Map as very simple and easy to integrate. That's cool. Go to your project and install this package in your pub spec, Flutter Map 111. Usually the numbers don't matter. I'll put it in just because I'd rather not have to worry about if that's a problem or not. So let's just do that for fun. Alright, Flutter Map, give me a pub get. This is the default project, by the way. I haven't changed anything else yet other than putting that in. Okay, cool, so that's done. We'll continue. Cool, documentation, whatever, that's fine. In order to show a map, I need two things, an access token and a style ID. I'll find my access token inside the dashboard's access token section. Okay, let's go find that then. Hi there, I don't care too much. Access tokens, I need one, so let's make a token, sure. Choose a name to help associate with a project. I'm working on Lecture 8B demo right now. All tokens are able to view styles, tile sets, and geocode locations, and there's other things you can do with it. For now, I'm not... So here's the thing I had problems with before, is that there were some times where I actually needed to check some of these off, and it's not really clear to me which I do. I think for now, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm not going to check anything. I'm just going to leave the defaults, but it may be the case that I actually do need to change some of these things if I want to do certain operations in Flutter. For now, I think I'll just leave it, and I'll say, you know what, let's just make a token. Confirm my password. Oh boy, I'm not quite sure what that is. Let me pull this over here so I can start guessing what my password is. Okay, apparently that was correct. All right, I got my token for lecture 8B demo. It's this massive string of things, so I got that for reference. Also, if you're using my code, don't use my access token. Make your own. Okay. My access token. To get a style ID, head over to Mapbox Studio, where I will see a button called New Style. Okay. New Style. We'll do streets. Streets seem good. Customize my streets. Hit the customize using the basic template with the galaxy variation. Ooh, well, I'm not using the galaxy variation. Sorry. After selecting the style, you'll be redirected to the map customization selection where you can customize many things. Okay, to get the URL of the selected map style, click on the Share button in the top right corner and click on the Third Party tab. Share! Third Party. I did that. Here, select the Carto option and copy the integration URL, which looks something like this. Okay. Carto. Hey, an integration URL. Alright, that's there. Now that I have both these things, I can show a map inside our application. First, let's make a file where all of the tokens and IDs are defined. So we'll make a file called constant and it will have this stuff in it. Sure. Why not? I'm going to steal this code because I want it. Make a file. Constant. Copy that. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Okay, then I need my access token and my style ID. Sure. So, my access token is this thing. Boop. And my style ID is this thing. Boop. All right. Cool, I got those things. All right, what's next? The Flutter Map package provides a widget called Flutter Map through which we can define our map configurations. Let's see how to use it. Make a page, and we'll replace the build method with the below code. Okay. Okay, well, maybe let's write this code as opposed to copying all of it, because I don't know how much we learn from just directly copying code here. Maybe it's fine. I don't know. Okay, how about we walk through it together, and then I'll copy it in. So, probably I'm going to put this in my main, because why not? It doesn't say to make a new file for it. We got our scaffold, our app bar. Title's going to be Flutter Mapbox. It's going to make, what is this? AR, this is probably like a gray. I guess that's fine. We're going to have a stack, and our stack is going to stack up. I don't really know why we have a stack. We don't really need it, but I guess it's fine. We could just have a Flutter map. We're going to have our map. It has some options, how far you can zoom out, how far you can zoom in, what the default is, and where it's going to center to. And the center is going to be my location, which was something that was put into the constant file over here. But neat little trick, you actually can tell your phone where you want to be. So if I decide, for instance, that, you know what, I want to be at school right now. Okay, I have to I'll put in the proper name. You can actually go there and say, make me here. And now the phone thinks you are at school. Where is this exactly? Right next to the hive? Okay, so you can actually set that up. So there are ways that you can pull the location for your phone, but I think we'll worry more about that when we talk about geolocation. For now, I just want to have a map. Okay. So here is the location that's there. We can find an actual location if we want, but you know, we'll leave it default is fine for now. Okay, there are options that you can have for building your Flutter map, namely, where do you want stuff to come from? And in this case, we need the URL here, which is going to have, is basically going to be us trying to get access to Mapbox's API. We need to have, hold up, this is probably not what I want. This should be replaced by the URL actually that I put in. It should be replaced by this thing, I believe. So it's not quite right. Yeah, this line of code gave me problems in the past, and I think for sure this is not quite right. I think that the rest of this is fine, but I'm pretty sure this should be replaced by my actual name. Let's try it out. I think when I run this, it should work okay. So let's try this. So I'm gonna copy this. into my project, into my main. So, and this is the build method, I think, right? It's, yeah, build and below. So we're gonna get rid of comments, get rid of comments, and get rid of this, and we're gonna replace our build method with the new one. We need to import some stuff. We need to import Flutter map, and we need to import app constants. Or it was called app constants. There we go. Yeah, okay. Just import the things. Now everything should be fine here. Now, that being said, this I don't think is quite right, because this should be replaced by, at least in my case, I think, my name. Let's run it. I'm kind of curious. Let's see what happens. Can I do a hot restart? Will it be okay with that? Oh, now white screen. It's not quite what I was hoping for. Any kinds of errors or anything like that? Ooh, that's not looking good. HTTP request failed. Well, that's not all right. What is a 401? Can't connect? Lacking credentials. Ah, okay. So, this may be a case of not having access to the internet. In which case, I believe there is a line I can sneak in here that should fix this problem, which is the following. Uses permission. Android name is android.permission.internet with a slash thing at the end. Let's try rebuilding this. My suspicion is that these HTTP requests failing are because I didn't have my app get permission to go on the internet, which ergo means I can't access Mapbox. So we'll see if changing this file, Android manifest, under main, under source, under app, under Android, and adding in this one line will fix this problem. Potentially. We'll find out. Nope, clearly not. I tried. Okay, perhaps the guide suggests why I am having an HTTP failure. Okay, so nothing. Oh, need to add to the Android man. Yeah, I did that. This was the thing I needed to add. I guess I was actually a step ahead, if anything, as I put that in. Now, perhaps it is possible that that my URL is incorrect and I should actually have this. I suppose we can find out. Let's try it. Maybe I was wrong to change this thing. Oops, not there. It was in main. Here. Hot restart. No, okay, same problem. I think it is an error of this of this form, because I'm pretty sure what's happening is, oh, you know what it might be? This URL looks completely wrong, right? Because it says HTTPS API Mapbox styles v1 deruve, and suddenly HTTPS again, which is clearly not a valid format. So I think what may have happened is these instructions aren't quite right. And the map style ID is actually supposed to be everything starting from the here. And this is supposed to be the stuff at the start of the URL. So I'm going to grab everything up to my name and leave this long nonsense after. Something weird is going on here. Wait a second. This seems to give me the whole thing. This is like the actual information I want. What if I take this, copy, and put it in here. So this is just a direct copy of the URL that I got. This is why you got to be careful sometimes for those tutorials out there. So clearly the issue is my style ID was actually just was not actually the thing that I grabbed here. I think my style ID is probably that weird string that appears here, this thing. And then obviously the name was wrong as well, because it was not, I want to use my name. But now that I just directly put in the URL, then it's fine. And these are actually useless. I can just get rid of these. And I don't even need those constants, I think, anymore. I suppose having my location is fine, but I guess the person who made this lives in Kensington, because that seems to be where this was put. I think it's control to zoom in or out. Where are we right now? We're in London, so I guess is this a British person? Could be. How do I rotate? I'm actually not sure how I would. Oh, I guess I do it like this, right? There we go. Yeah, I'm holding the control key to pinch two things at the same time. Okay, let's get out of here. If we want, we can go all the way over across the ocean to where we actually are, which is down over here. Let's go to school, everybody. Whee! And Ritson is the wrong way. And we are at school. Look at that, we did it. Hooray. Okay, we have begun. We have at least a starting point from which we can continue the exercises. So let's see what else we can do here. Majority of my map viewpoint settings are configured in the options, such as zoom. Yep, there's more options from this link. This takes us directly to the dev page, I think, so you can tweak around with other stuff. Tile layer options has the tile URL, so there are placeholders for access and map style, but we can actually just put in the URL directly and ignore that. We definitely want to have Android permission to access the internet. That could be important. If you run the app, you will see the map loaded inside your application successfully. Hooray! So now let's add some markers over the map. In order to do that, we have marker layer options. We'll create static restaurants at various locations, create a map marker model class, and paste the following code in to do that. Let's walk through this code before we copy it in. Okay, so it looks like we're making a class here, probably with a new file, called map marker that has an image, a title, an address, a location, and a rating. It's going to look at some restaurants, I suppose. The constructor apparently requires everything. I guess that's fine. And then here are some London restaurants, kind of unsurprising because I live in London. There's some images which aren't going to work unless I actually have these images, so I assume that they gave me the links for these, because otherwise this ain't going to work too well. Do they have the images? Where are the images? Where are they? Oh no. Maybe something missing here. Okay, we'll forget about it for now, I guess. We got the name of the restaurant, location, address and location, and what it's rated in number of stars, I suppose. Okay, so there's some places. And we're going to show them on the map by adding map layer options to our Flutter map, and inside the markers, we're going to put in code to create a marker at a specific height and width. It will point to the location that we're looking for, and it'll build a gesture detector so that when I tap it, it will, I guess it won't do anything. It's just going to have the picture of a map marker. Okay, sure. Let's try this out. We'll see what happens. Kind of curious. usually I don't just copy code and use it for class, but I feel like just because I want to get stuff working quickly, we'll give this a shot. And for all I know, it's gonna break anyway. With my luck, Okay. So what are we making here? I guess we're making map markers. Sure, map marker. There's our map marker class. It's the code that I just copied. It creates map markers. Here are some that exist. Okay, cool and good. And then in our main, we're going to have to add marker layer options to our Flutter map. Let's not copy this part. I just want to copy the parameters. So marker layer options should pop up when I No, is it a map option? Marker layer options? No, I think it's a Flutter map. Or actually, no, it's under layers. Marker. No, maybe not. Oh, there it is. Yeah, marker layer options. There we go. And we can put in the code that we grabbed. Map markers will import that. SVG picture. Not quite sure what that's supposed to be. So we're gonna cheat a little bit. It's a very weird line of code to have here. Now I think this is supposed to just be an image file that they're trying to insert here, but I don't think that's going to work too well. So now I think I did something like this before. Let me see. Do I have a... Let's make it an icon. Icons dot location on. Sure. We'll see if how that goes. I don't know if I need to set the size. Oh no, that's it, I think, right? Oh no, size, there it is. Size, let's 45. Okay, let's see how this goes. Are these the places? No, these are like, it's not quite right. So now my problem is I don't actually know where these where these locations are, so that gives me some trouble in the sense of being able to find any of them. Let's look up where they are, huh? In my map markers we have Alexander the Great Restaurant. Sure, where the heck is Alexander the Great Restaurant? Yeah, in London. I want that one. I can either go to Greece or I can go to UK. Okay, where are we exactly? So we were looking at Kensington, so it should be up to the right past the London Zoo. Okay. And I take it that nothing actually is there. Oop. We have our Kensington, London Zoo, so it should be over here somewhere. Yet I do not see it. Ergo, something is going on. Let's look at our tutorial and see what it's suggesting. Whoop. Okay, let's read through this together. We've got some restaurants. We've put marker layer options in. We looked over a list of markers you create inside the marker class and return a marker. You can customize them according to your needs. The point parameter is actual location. To give your customized marker, you need to implement the builder property, which we did. We use, they include an SVG image of the marker. The marks on the map will now appear like this. Now this is because they put in an SVG image, but I tried to put in an icon and it was unhappy with that. So clearly I need to use something other than an icon, I think, if I want to be able to see what's going on. I wonder if I can put in just an image from a URL. How do I do this again? It's been a while. image.network. And the source is going to be see if I can go find one real quick. That is not a friendly URL. I'm just looking on my other screen to see if I can find a friendly looking URL. Okay, here is a URL. Perhaps it will work. This is a link to a red balloon. Maybe it will work. Who knows? We'll find out. Oh, that clearly did not show up at all. I want my markers to appear. That's not okay. Each marker is there. The builder is going to, so it's returning a gesture detector. I'm not sure if that's necessary. Why don't I make a an icon button instead? And my icon button takes an on pressed, and it takes an icon, which will once again try the icons dot location on icon size 45. Still no bueno, huh? I can't say I use the double question mark operator very often in Flutter. What is that used for again? Clearly my inexperience with some of the Dart stuff is showing. Oh, if null, then my location, otherwise, okay. I feel like something weird is going on with this code right now. And what does the demo say? Markers.length is i.location. So we got the locations. And I should put in an image. Yet it is not. I wonder what is going on. Trouble sometimes with following some of these guides is they haven't had someone else do it, so then when something weird happens, like this SVG picture thing doesn't exist, it's like, how do you actually fix that problem? Now, it's possible the locations are wrong too. Now I don't think so, because it seems quite correct in that you should have something close to 0 since everything is in Greenwich. Like this is latitude, right? And Greenwich is like right by London is the 0 point, so that makes sense. And then it's probably pretty far north of the equator, so 50 seems to make sense too. But I can't seem to see these little markers. What is the deal with that? And if I go past the London Zoo to where this restaurant's supposed to be, and there's my restaurant, Alexander the Great. It's right there. At least it was right there. It's somewhere around this area. I don't see the symbol. That's not ideal. What if I want a container with an icon button? Nope. Did not help. I'm wondering why it is doing this. Curious, curious, curious. Maybe we'll figure it out. I hope so. Okay. I don't know how much I trust this format. If this is like actually generating me a list. What if I just do the first one? Let's suppose that I leave this out for the moment. And I do just, where was the Alexander the Great one? Was that the first? Yeah, it was the first one. Let's just try putting in the first one and see if that's going to fix this. Still nada, huh? Yet the example indicates that if this was working correctly, I'm curious if this is actually making the markers, because it doesn't seem like it is, which is a problem. It could be the case that I have put this in the wrong order, and that's why it's unhappy. Like maybe this is actually showing up the wrong way. What if I do that? I don't think this will matter, but just for fun. What a silly reason for that not to work. Okay, well, I believe I have fixed the problem. This seems like something that you wouldn't think matters, but I guess it does. Yeah, there's everything. So, what the heck happened? I incorrectly assumed that the order of the layers didn't matter, but I was wrong. The tiles, meaning the map that you're on, must be the first of the layers that you have, so that it's at the bottom. My markers were not showing up because they were buried underneath. And now I can click on these and nothing really happens, I don't think. But most importantly, I can actually see where these restaurants are now and so on. Hooray, there's one over there and so on and so forth. Okay, great. All right, so finally we have figured out what was wrong. Now, let's go back to our demo. We can actually see things now, which is nice. Okay. Yeah, I guess we can try to go through and finish the rest of the thing. Why not? Only markers don't give information. We need to show some info relating to it, like that below. To implement this UI, we need to use the page view widget of Flutter. Okay. So, do I want to bother doing this in class? This is a lot of code to add in to make a swipeable card. How much more is going to be after this? Let me see how much this is worth doing. Isn't this the same thing that we had before? Oh, they just added a bit of code here to generate the page that they're going to show for a little bit. Okay. and then when you click on a marker, it will show you the thing. That's kind of cool. And then they have some animation for the marker. And is that everything? There's a few more things. You know what? Let's we'll go through it. Why not? I feel like it's nice to have like a really cool looking little thing. We are gonna steal a bunch of this code for this video, and I'll see if I actually do care to like do all this when we run it in class. I probably won't, because this is taking like a long time to do. But I don't know, maybe we'll just steal code in class. That seems fine. Okay, after the Flutter map widget, add the following code. It's a lot of code to add. After the Flutter map widget, let's go see what it means. Oh, because it's a stack, right? So they want to put another thing on top of the stack. Where's my stack closed? Down here. So after the Flutter map, we'll put in the code that they have. This is a lot of code. Yeah, I think that's fine though. How much more do I need to have for this to work? Let's take a look down there. Okay, threw in a chunk of code, which is a swipeable card. And what I want is when you click on a thing for it to show up. Oh, I have to add a page controller. This is getting really complicated. I'm not sure how much of this is really valuable to us. I suppose it's not a bad idea to do some of it, especially because since we're not writing code, it does save on the amount of time it takes to do anything. And we can make something look really pretty. So you know what? Screw it. Let's steal code and make a nice looking little app, huh? Okay, thrown in all this code. What's it do? In short, it's going to position a little card on the screen that's going to have some cool information. We're going to mod it a little bit because notably I don't actually have the pictures. And I don't know why they assumed I would. That seems kind of suspect. So yeah, we don't actually have these images. Which means that in the code that would normally show that, we'll just show a smiley face. Why not? Steal one from Wikimedia. Image dot, where does this close here? Network. The source is this nice little smiley face I found from online. Did I miss a parentheses somewhere? Do I have an extra parentheses somewhere? Suddenly it's mad. Must have deleted something I wasn't supposed to. This happy with all this, and that's my asset. Okay, I missed it. I had an extra parentheses in there which shouldn't have been there. Okay, so this will just show smiley faces, because why not? Oh, I can see it's actually trying to do stuff already. Yeah, the big X here is showing up because I don't actually have the image, which is, you know, obviously a problem. Give me a hot restart. Look at that, nice smiley face here. And hey, I can actually do the swiping already. So isn't that nice? Stealing code makes stuff work real fast. The font here is hideous. I don't know who thought that putting black on black made any sense, but we're going to fix that so we can actually read what the heck we're looking at. That would be in... Let's see, title, I imagine, right? This is where I can do color. White. There we go. Can actually read what I'm looking at. Hey, look nice and pretty. No, maybe not a bad lesson to learn that a lot of the stuff you can do in Flutter has probably been written by somebody else. So, you know, I suppose I would credit the writer of this little help thing for putting together a bunch of this stuff, but you know, it's in the real world, stealing code is happening all the time. So okay, we have our cool little slidey cards. Will I write all this in class? I guess we'll see. Maybe I will. I feel like this. Well, I'll take a look at how long it took the whole video takes, and I think if the video is too close to an hour, then I'll recommend stealing the code. And if it doesn't take that long, then maybe I'll write all this code out with everybody so that we can actually see what's going on here. So, hey, look at that. We got slidey cards, which is nice, but we also want to make it so that when we click on a map marker, it takes us to the right slidey card. So let's get that going. Okay, so we got a swipeable card. That's cool. It's got some stuff in it. We get that. We need to add a page controller to our page view and put that inside the widget. And then we need to have our controller animate to that page. Okay, so here's what we'll do is page controller needs to go into our page view. Let's go find our page view over here. This page controller. Oh, no, it doesn't seem to be quite right. Should be in here though, right? Oh no, I need a variable. Oh, that's what I'm doing. Is I'm putting in a variable inside this page view. Shouldn't that go under item builder? Okay, let's see where they meant to put this. Oh, this goes in the widget, right? Okay, and this goes in the page view. That makes more sense. So in my widget, which is the state, I suppose, I have my page controller, and then the controller for the builder is going to be the page controller. Easy enough. And now we're going to change our icon button. This says gesture detector, but I got rid of that because I wanted a button, which is going to take our page controller and animate to the page that we want, and then run set state. You could wrap this in stat state. I guess this person doesn't know how to wrap stuff in stat state. That's okay. We are smart and can do that. So copy this. This is going to be when we press our icon button, which we did over here. I'm going to take this and wrap it in set state. Cool. Okay, does that work? Let's find out. Hey, look at that. Shed. That's Alexander the Great one, which makes sense because that's where we thought it was somewhere up north of Kensington. So, hey, look at that. We got some buttons and stuff that works. I don't think this is necessarily impossible for us to code in class. It might be fine. Also, this is like horrendous structuring of my code because I have map marker, which is good to have a separate thing. I have constants, of which I didn't actually use a bunch of them. And I have main, which has like 50 million things going on here. That's not good. So probably I would recommend, if you were doing this, is to make a separate thing that's going to have the map. Just so like your code's a little cleaner, because this is like hideously bad. Well, maybe in class we can refactor it a little bit. Okay, so now when we tap on it, it takes us to where we want. I suppose we can indicate what's been selected. That seems fine. So, sure, let's do that. We'll make a variable called selected index. I feel like this is something we can maybe figure out how to do together. It's not too hard. I want my selected index, which defaults to 0, and then for each marker, when it's pressed, we're going to change the selected index to be I, because I just selected it. And when I build a marker, I want to have, can I change color? Rotate. I could do size. We could change the size of it. I kind of like doing that because then it's like inflated, and then you can kind of see. It was suggesting doing opacity. I guess I can change the icon, right? Yeah, so whoops, I need a size. I can do color, right? I can do color, I think. Yeah, color. Color is so if selected index is I, then it's colors black. Otherwise, colors blue. Sure, why not? So clear this one selected first, then I can click on this one, and click on this one. Maybe I should flip this actually. I should have the one that you've clicked on be blue and the ones you haven't clicked on be black. I feel like this is like this is the kind of thing that's kind of hard to teach, is like good UI design, but generally you want the things that are darker to be the ones that are unselected and the things that are brighter to be the ones that are selected so that they stand out. And click here, now it's blue. Hooray, look at that. Didn't even need the helpful advice of our dear friend who put this thing together. They chose to change opacity. I guess you can do that if you really want to, but I didn't care. I just want to change the color, because why not? Yeah, I see, they did it, because they were using images, and I was like, no, I don't want to do that. They made it animated, I suppose, which is kind of fun, but it's okay. We want to update the marker when we swipe the card as well. I guess that makes sense. So we have to add some code when we change the page. So when we change the page, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Let's add that in then. And we'll wrap this in set state, of course. Just so we can leave it here, it should be fine. On page changed. Right now nothing happens, so we'll make something happen. Well, why is it so bad? There we go. Animated map move. Where did that come from? Is that something that we needed to put in and I haven't? Possibly. Is that a function we have to write that I haven't written? You know, it's okay. We don't need to move the map. We'll keep it simple. Not necessary. Also, we're gonna use a good format, which is to wrap stuff in set state and not write set state after. Wrap in set state. So now I can select this, I can select this, I can select this, and I can go here, and now it has selected the tower bridge, which is there, or I can unselect it by going there. So that's kind of cool. I can click on this, and it takes me there. Kind of annoying that it flickers. The reason it's flickering is because if I have to skip multiple pages, it's going to go through one at a time. That might be something you want to disable potentially, but I think we are happy kind of with what we've got here. There might be some more nonsense we can put in here. Being able to center the map. Sure, this is all, you know, bells and whistles, I think. The most important thing I would say is being able to put the map layer down, grabbing every, like, you can customize Mapbox however you feel like it. Putting on the markers is definitely a big deal. I've chosen to do icons here instead of images. You may want to do something else, but icons are handy because there's a lot of Flutter options for you to manipulate your icons if you need to. And I feel like, you know, this is a pretty looking thing. Maybe we'll, maybe what I'll do for the, for class is I'll see if I can find actual pictures of these restaurants, and I can put those in as the map marker images. So instead of being these images I don't actually have, I can grab from the internet. and then call that. Something maybe I'll think about, but I think for now this is good enough. I'm happy with this, and this is probably the extent of what I'll show in class at the very least, nothing more complicated. Maybe I will write all of this code, because there's a lot of code to get these slidey cards to work, but might not be a bad thing just because I feel like this is more like closer to the quality of what I'm hoping for projects as opposed to what we've been doing in class, which has been like very low-hanging fruit, so to speak. Having something like this is much more, I think, of a reasonable expectation for like a cool app. So something nice to show off. I think that's fine. So special thanks once again to our friend whose name I've already forgotten. It is Dhruv Nakhum from just a few months ago. You can tell how recently this stuff has been changed. But that will wrap up our discussion of maps. Next, we'll see what I'm going to do for the next videos, because the following week is going to be building a very, very big app, which is going to span both lectures. I'm not quite sure exactly how I'm going to set that up, but the following exercises, new things we're going to cover after, are going to be geolocation, which is going to follow directly from the map stuff. So make sure you're comfortable with working with maps, because it's something you're going to need to get very, very used to, both for the assignment and for your project. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys around.